Welcome back. We are live. Welcome back, Late Night Green interview edition. What's going on, Mr. Todd?
What's happening? What's going on?
Yo, so I don't know. I've got to tell everybody why I'm laughing in the beginning here, because 2 shows in a row, at 10 seconds before we go, I always say, yo, bro, I'm opening up our mics. And then I open up the mics, and you go, oh.
What's the name of the brand?
Cough Country.
All right, man.
So that's what's going on?
That's what's going on.
All right. How are you tonight?
Good. Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good too. So we have an interview edition, no late night edition tonight. We got some things that we have to do afterwards, so there's no late night show. This is the show. It's an interview edition, and it's a good one. We're going to have a good one. We're going to bring it tonight. And our guest is going to bring it tonight, as you will also find out. You talking to me, control room? All right, mute out if you guys can. So would you like to do the grand introduction for our guest tonight? Because I'm excited.
I'm excited, too, and it's exciting how we met him.
That's right. We're going to talk about that. I feel like we're going to go on a journey tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're going on a journey,
I
right?
think, yeah.
All right, so let's go. Go ahead. I'll do the introduction. You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about my man.
Bring my man on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to meet Steve Steve Corbertt, and he is an author of the book Weed, Wine, and Magic. Welcome to the show, Steve. How are you, my friend?
I'm wonderful. Thank you very much. It's nice to see you guys.
It is great to see you. And before we even get started, we have to tell everybody how we met, because we have known each other for, I think, now 10 days.
Oh, at least, yeah.
At least 10 days. So we had the pleasure of meeting Steve at the 420 event in Atlantic City. He was right across the way. He had a booth, and we had a booth. And before the day was out, we were able to introduce ourselves and talk to each other. And we kind of knew at that point Steve's got to come on the show. So
no doubt.
Yeah.
You had a very nice presentation over there, and it drew me to you. So one of the first things I wanted to do was go over and talk to you and see see what you're all about. And your books are intriguing, very intriguing. So, I can't wait to get to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I've said to people all along, these books will get you high. I don't know what else to tell people other than to say words can be psychedelic, because words contribute to a mindset that can blow your mind. And if you're into that and you want to accentuate your own creativity, your own trip, your own way of looking at life, that's what you do. You read, you think, you act, and it all fits together.
You expand your mind, right? It's the expansion of the limitations that you kind of have on your mind.
Yeah, it sounds enticing. A
really,
third dimension to it.
It really does. So, Steve, what I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is I'd like to go and get a little bit of history on you. I'd like to know who you are, and then we're going to quickly transition to the books. I know the book, there's a ton to talk about with the book, but I think everybody wants to know who's Steve Corbertt and what's your background.
You pronounce my name like I'm French, when in effect I'm Irish and German, so it's Corbett. But what you got to know about me is I've been an outlaw ever since I was a kid. And I'm a longtime journalist. I've been in trouble with the journalists for 40-plus years. I got busted and charged with a felony for doing journalism in America. The cops wanted to lock me up for 7 years, ruin my reputation for telling the truth. But I was smarter than they were. I got my bosses busted, too. I got my managing editor, my publisher, my editor, all charged with felonies, and we eventually wound up winning one of the biggest journalism awards in the nation because we stood on truth, on principle. And the reason we did that is because we were outlaws. We were people willing to push an envelope. We were people in the search for truth, like that Carlos Castaneda from the 60s, the Yaqui way of knowledge. We pushed for truth through journalism. So that's what I did 20 years as a print newspaper columnist, 10 years as a news talk radio host where I broke news on the radio. And I continue to be the outlaw I always was. When I was 17 years old, living in rural Perry County, Pennsylvania, I got high for the first time. 1968, I was smoking a little bit of weed because I knew things were happening in America and in the world and in my own mind. So my grandfather was a coal miner, an Irish immigrant. And my dad had my grandfather's pipe. He smoked a pipe, an old Irish guy. And I didn't know how to smoke pot. So I took my poor grandfather's pipe. I figured it had the spiritual acumen from all of that smoking. And I put the weed that I got from a buddy of mine, mixed it with tobacco, and smoked it. And then I smoked the residue for about a month after that. So I was an outlaw even at 17.
Badass.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, I love that story because I have a brother who did the same thing. He would use a tobacco pipe,
Yeah.
mix it with tobacco and the weed, and walk around the house smoking it. So dang.
Was it?
See, I didn't walk around the house because my dad was a state cop. So
Oh,
it's
shit.
probably not a good idea. You know.
Well, my brother was crazy.
So
Okay.
what was that? A corncob pipe?
No, it was a pipe that the old Irish guys used to smoke. A lot of old Irish guys smoke pipes. I smoked a pipe for a long time.
Like those shiny wood, like the nice wood grain ones on the outside, right?
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah, this actually had some silver metal on it. It was
right.
hip.
Yeah.
It was hip.
Now,
Right.
after you did that, did Grandpa get that pipe again and get the treat of his life?
No, he was dead. My dad had his pipe. My father had his pipe. It was sacred. It was a sacred pipe. And
Hell
so
yeah, it was.
this idea that I was engaged in a sacred spiritual ritual, which in effect I was.
That's
because
right.
I was opening my mind, like Aldous Huxley taught us. The doors to perception were opening for me as a 17-year-old, and I continued in all my adventures over all the decades to push that envelope. And as a result, my books are very spiritual. They're heavy, they're real, they're raw, they're violent, but they're deep.
Yeah, they are.
You're a very good promoter of your book because I just want to dive into it right now. Okay,
Yeah.
and once I know a little bit later you get into your book here, but read a little bit about you, and you have a couple other books there that are interesting. So once we get to the red wine, weed, wine, and magic, we'll I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
You can ask me anything. The pursuit of truth is always noble.
Well, I'm going to take that as an opening to go back to a piece of what you were just talking about in your opening introduction. What happened when you went to prison? What was that about, and how did all of these other people become involved in it? I just need to know, and you don't have to tell me the whole thing. Just give me a little bit.
Well, the good news is I didn't go to prison because we fought them. Because I was working for corporate media, and my company had a lot of money, and they agreed to fight this injustice. And we're going back to like 1991, 1990. And my company spent $250,000 to defend us. But I told them up front, lock me up, because I'll go to prison in a heartbeat. I'll lift weights. I'll punch the heavy bag. I'll hold press conferences because we're talking about truth. We were living in a corrupt area, and I made a name for myself as a desperado newspaper columnist because I challenged everybody. Dirty cops, dirty politicians. We talked to the people who had no representation, no power. I write a lot about racism and sexism and violence because that's what America is all about. And we got to face up to that dragon if we ever hope to slay him.
Hey, you know what? So that brings me to, I was going to wait till later, but one book I'm definitely going to read is Patty's Day in Trump Town.
Well, I got something for you. This summertime, because we wrote that book, Patty's Day in Trump Town, and released it, my publisher released that book in 2020. we were going to do a big promotional tour. We were even going to go to Ireland, but COVID hit and we got torpedoed. So we were not able to really promote that book about Donald Trump and his election and the people in northeastern Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania particularly, where I worked as a newspaper columnist, who supported Trump. And when Trump got reelected, 2024, we determined that we needed to revisit that old novel. So this summer, we're re-releasing Patty's Day in Trumptown as Patty's Day in Trumptown Revisited. I got a terrifying introduction that I wrote. I got 5 new updated chapters, and I got an epilogue that I call an apocalogue, like the damn end of the world might be coming, and it might.
So is this an enhancement to the first version?
Yes.
Or is it, so should I wait for the second one or just read the one you have?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Wait for the summertime, because it will have the entire original novel, Patty's Day in Trumptown.
I'd say go ahead.
Plus the updated 5 chapters, which brings us up to contemporary America, where we're all waiting to see whether we go, no pun intended, Cheech and Chong, up in smoke, or whether...
Well, it's only one way to go up in smoke, and that's the good way. So
up in smoke is there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
Only one way to do it. So these years that you spent in journalism, you were doing traditional news, correct?
Well, traditional news in the sense that I was a traditional investigative reporter, a traditional commentator, but I did it with my perspective. I did it by pushing the envelope. I went farther than most newspaper columnists in America go. And as a result, I got a lot of heat, and I liked that. I thrived on the heat. But I also got into a jam with bosses, corporate hacks. I had some good support. Without the good support, I'd have never been able to do it. But I had some real bad support, too, and that's why people don't trust media. Most people trusted me, whether they agreed with my perspective or not. They trusted me, and then they feared me. The other side, which I considered to be the true enemy of the people, feared the truth. And that's what will set us free. Some long-haired, bearded dude said that one time.
Some hippie, huh? Well, I'll tell you what. That is, you are right. The truth is the truth is the truth. Let me ask you this: were you able to cover within your coverage? Were you able to talk about cannabis-related things? Was that permitted within your news organization?
It was permitted, but it wasn't really something during the time I was a journalist with corporate media that people were talking about. Most people only talked about weed when somebody got busted. Now, however, I still operate as an outlaw journalist, and my latest foray into the search for truth is pushing our Pennsylvania governor, Josh Shapiro, to tell us the truth. For the past couple of months, I've been pressuring the Pennsylvania governor's press office to ask the governor a very simple question, because he's pushing to legalize recreational cannabis, which is good. But my question is simple. Did you ever get high, Josh? And they won't answer. They won't answer the question.
Well, I'm gonna say.
And then I thought, well, what is this? Then I thought to myself, all right, what about the state police commissioner? I wonder if he ever got high. So I've been pushing the state police as well. They won't answer the question either, man. So what is up with that?
You need to watch one of our prior segments. People who, famous people who get high. Okay, and listen to their responses. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit. But let me tell you, my guess is Josh Shapiro got plenty high. That's my guess. Seriously.
See, I don't operate in guesses. I want to know. And if he did, tell us. What's that too? Okay? I mean, I'm a guy, when you think this through. First got high in 1968. I was 17 years old. I went to college. I went to Penn State, and I got high up there. I wound up in Fort Lauderdale, in 1973 working as a bouncer in a Blood and Guts bar, and I got high down there. Drugs were happening. This was even before Miami Vice and cocaine hit. I knew a dude that was one of the biggest international cocaine smugglers in the world. His book is called Snowblind. He's dead too. A guy by the name of Zachary Swan. I got high with Zachary. But my point is simple. When I got out of college, I went to work in a state penitentiary as a drug and alcohol counselor, and I knew my credibility depended on not getting high. So I stopped. Then I got into journalism, and I thought to myself, I'm busting all of these crooked politicians. I'm in all of their stuff. For my own credibility, I can't break the law. So I didn't get high. I didn't use any Pennsylvania illegal drugs for 40 plus years.
40 years.
Wait a minute. This is shocking news.
This is breaking news.
Stop.
I want to know what that's like. I want to know what that's like is to be where you were and then go 40 years dry. I want to know what that's like.
It's discipline.
I don't want to know what that's like.
No, wait a minute. I got deep into Zen Buddhism. I got deep into my martial arts. I'm a 4th degree black belt Aikido Jiu-Jitsu instructor. I'm a 3rd degree black belt Aikido instructor. I got deep into meditation, got deep into good eating. My wife and I are great partners. We share all these disciplines that also get us high. So all I'm saying is to take weed out of the mix, to take coke and anything else out of the mix, was just taking it out of the mix. We had far more opportunities to get high with other means.
That's
but
true.
now that I write this Weed Wine Magic, I get thinking to myself, this is just a couple of years ago. I haven't used any weed in 40 plus years. So how am I going to write about weed wine if I've never used weed wine? I never even knew that weed wine existed. I found a guy who is a world-class winemaker in California, where we used to live, where we moved. A guy who's a world-class winemaker. He's been illegally making weed wine for 20 plus years with his buddy who's a world-class weed maker. But when California legalized recreational weed, he was able to make real weed wine. You cannot sell it in California or anywhere else in America. Real wine with alcohol in it and real weed. But in California, you can make it and use it for your friends and for yourself, and you can give it away. So we had a book launch for Weed Wine Magic on the central coast of California, beautiful wine and weed country, and he gave me 2 bottles of primo weed wine. And it was the first time that my wife and I got high in 42, 43 years, and it was nice. It
Wow.
You know, what a way to do it, too. What a way to do it.
Overlooking the Pacific Ocean on the cliffs at nighttime, and it was nice. But when we come back to Pennsylvania, I go back to meditating and being a pesca vegetarian and doing yoga and experiencing the Celtic sun today, the beginning of summer, according to the ancient pagan Celts, and all those beautiful highs that we can get. And it's all part of the same thing, brothers.
You are refreshing as hell, bro.
Oh man, taking it to another level. I'll tell you, you're gonna have a large following with that.
But listen, it's an interest. Like his whole perspective. He went around, smoked weed with everybody here and there, and then just quit. And where you and I would be going, oh man, we need the weed. He's looking at other ways to enhance his life, to get that same type of feeling. And I think a lot of people today don't think about that. Like it's not something.
We missed the target. We missed the target.
Yeah, we might have missed.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because now what you're doing is you're raising awareness to people like me and like people who have never experienced cannabis by talking to them about recreational weed, about a lifestyle
That's right.
with safety regulations and making sure we don't have pesticides, and making sure that nobody's poisoning the stuff, making sure that we can raise awareness to something that has been demonized by law enforcement, by government, by people who wanted to make money and maybe didn't want you to use the product. The alcohol industry has done real well. They killed a whole lot of people that weed would never have killed.
Well, it
So
just
you do.
it just shows how powerful the messaging was back in the 40s and the 50s. You can't quite see it, but in the studio we've got signs around us. It's the reefer madness. It's the devil's harvest.
Yes.
These are all.
Yes.
This is all the propaganda that was shoved down generations of people's
Right.
folks. Not only that, but it was our government who did it, and they changed the thought on cannabis all around the world. They created that stigma all around the world because of the things that we have hung up in our studio here. So it is extremely powerful because you're right. Alcohol didn't get that stigma. They don't have to work under those same rules. And I'll be honest with you, I was just at a good friend of mine's party this week, and they gave me a call ahead of time, and they said, "Hey, man, can you not smoke at the party?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's I said I would never just smoke in someone's house like that without knowing whether
That's okay.
But the reasoning was, Steve, is that there were some younger kids there, there were some nephews and some nieces there. But man, I'll tell you what, the fucking drinks were flowing. There's no stigma. There's no stigma attached to the alcohol side of this. However, when we talk about, I needed a one-day pre-advanced phone call to make sure I didn't do what they know I would do if they didn't tell me not to do it, even though I wouldn't do it in that setting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
so the stigma is real.
Yeah, no doubt. Alcohol is okay and smoking is not. Things are changing a little bit, but traditionally, you're not going to have people smoking weed around your children.
Right, but the point I'm making is it's the same children that you're showing them
drinking.
That the life of alcohol is somehow normalized to such a degree that it's not even thought about or talked about or even anything about.
It's conflicting.
Right, and keep this in mind too. The horrifying menace of prescription medication, and how many children are being pumped full of prescription drugs that are turning them into little who knows what kind of zombies.
That's
their parents are trying to utilize antidepressants and not really sure what kind of cocktail they're getting. So we got all kinds of things going on where weed, cannabis, if used responsibly,
Can help
and
the
if
situation.
research
Yep.
is allowed to continue, can help the situation. If you look into the pages of Weed, Wine, Magic, what I do is I take a spiritual perspective. I utilize a lot of Mexican spirituality because of the presence the Mexicans and Mexican Americans have on the Central Coast of California where we live. What I do is I also take real live history, people from the 30s that lived in the sand dunes, artists and poets and people you'd never think in a million years could live in sand dunes, but they had a community. In the 30s, they called themselves Dunites. But what I'm saying is my book deals with a make-believe cannabis strain that I invented called hoochah weed. I describe hoochah as the most potent, the most powerful cannabis strain on the planet. But what's funny is 50 years ago, I was in Ireland and I was studying for college for 3 months. I was living in Dublin. I was getting in touch with my family roots for the first time. I was boxing while I was in Ireland. And I was a little homesick. And so I concocted this story in my mind about a stagecoach after the Civil War, the year after the Civil War. And I had these ex-Civil War dudes, and they ran the first smuggling operation in a stagecoach full of hoochah weed from California to New York. And I never wrote that book. But that story was in my head for 50 years.
50
And I
It sounds real, too. It sounds
and
real.
then I translated it into the Central Coast where an old hermit who lives in the sand dunes and wears a loincloth and lets his hair grow down to his hips, and he laughs all the time, and he grows hoochah weed, and he talks to the hoochah weeds, and he sings to them, and he dances with them, and they talk and sing back to him.
This is sounding psychedelic.
Steve, hold that thought real second, because what we got to hang on one second, my brother. We're going to go to a commercial. We're going to do a commercial. When we come back from the commercial, we're going to get in. I want to get right into what you're talking about now. We want to know more about the hoochah. We want to know about hoochah weed, baby.
Hoochah weed, man. Hoochah weed for everybody.
Is this hoochah weed right here?
Shit, I hope so.
I hope so too. All right, hey, we'll be back right after this.
So many dispensaries have resorted to a bland, impersonal shopping experience, where you often don't even get to see a sample of the cannabis you're planning on purchasing before you buy it. If you're looking for that extra personal touch, come check out High Roller Dispensary in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Our staff are avid cannabis connoisseurs who are sure to help you find the strains that fit you best. Whether you're looking for premium flower, edibles, concentrates, or tinctures, we have you covered with over 100 different strains to choose from, all of which are able to be seen, smelled, and thoroughly examined in our elegant showroom. If you're in a rush, we offer a seamless online ordering system that allows for in-depth exploration of all that we have to offer. So whether you're a novice or a seasoned stoner, be sure to stop by High Roller Dispensary and we'll make sure you're floating on cloud 9 by the time you leave.
Marijuana is huge.
Hey, I'm OG Ganja Goddess, and you're watching Cough Country TV. Peace.
This is Chef Marvin Jane, and you're watching Cough Country TV, live from New York.
Right around here, 15 inches, maybe if you're younger, you go up to 19 inches, you know? Yeah, you know, you already went the big age.
Sometimes a CIO might make commitments to a CEO that they just can't fulfill. And it's very hard to succeed in those environments. You really want to be able to set the expectation right up front.
How would you feel with no sex, no weed for a month or two? I'm going to be really angry.
Just feel sorry for Jake.
Yeah, Jake's going to get fucked up.
Wow, this is Phil. Yeah, for this is all you. This is the Cough Country OG pink hoodie.
In terms of marijuana, I think it should happen.
All right, and we are back. So Steve, when politicians don't say what we want them to say, we make them say what we want them to say. And so if they don't say the right thing, we make them say it, brother. That's how we roll.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's more of that where that came from. But all right, welcome back, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this interesting conversation that we're having with Steve, and we're going to take it to the next level because he's going to start describing what's going on with this book, right?
Yeah, we want to see you break this down.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your book, Weed, Wine, and Magic, and tell us what it's about and what type of head trip we'll take.
What I want people to do is take a good hard look at themselves when they experience the characters in my novels. I want my novels to be like mirrors. You hold up to yourself, to your own face, and see what you can see. Whether the book be Blood Red Syrah, which is the first Central Coastal California book, Weed, Wine, Magic is the sequel to Blood Red Syrah. But you don't have to read them both. You can read Blood Red Syrah first, Weed, Wine, Magic first, because the message is clear. The search for truth, the willingness of people to face themselves in a chaotic, changing, and often violent and nasty society is the challenge we all face if we're up to it. So expanding our consciousness through meeting new people, through new experiences, through a willingness to create, whether it be taking that step to get high and use cannabis, whether it be taking that step to drink a little bit of wine, or whether it be taking that step to combine, like Mel Moyle, the old ancient hermit does, combine that cannabis into the wine. So what we have in Weed, Wine, Magic is the search for truth and self-discovery among people who are very different but very much alike. Mexican spirituality plays a big role in this book. La Santa Muerte, the Mexican death saint, is on the cover. She's holding a glass of Central Coastal Pinot Noir in her left hand and beautiful cannabis flowers in her right. When she combines those two sacred products, anything can happen. And so the book takes you deep into the relationships that people have, into how they find themselves, how they deal with the terrible, terrible behaviors other people exhibit on a regular basis. So that's basically the core of what Weed, Wine, Magic is. It's the intersection of that Mexican spirituality, similar to Carlos Castaneda and the Yaqui Way and those books that were around in the 60s, the writers who blew your mind, Ken Kesey and Richard Brodigan and Tom Wolfe and Hunter Thompson, the gonzo journalist. It's all part of the interconnectedness that makes us pretty much the same.
That's really unbelievably well said, Steve. Really well said. And it's really the journey of the characters in the book that is what's translatable for your own journey. And that's kind of what I'm kind of taking from and hearing from you as we talk. Go ahead. Do you want to say something?
I think I caught a buzz already.
Yeah, you caught a buzz already. I love it.
You know what's funny? I kid with people. I say, man, when you finish the book, if you got weed and you smoke weed, you can pull them pages out. I bet you can roll up a joint and smoke them pages. But keep this in mind.
That'd be a fatty.
One of the behaviors I changed, I don't smoke anything. It took me 3 years to get off cigarettes. I was a terrorist cigarette smoker. I chain smoked for 20 years. And I used to work with heroin addicts, and they could kick smack, but they couldn't get off cools. They couldn't get off the cigarettes. And so I took 3 years. And when I got off cigarettes, I got deeper into those spiritual journeys, which I consider writing to be part of. So in many ways, it's a storyteller's curse that can do good, that can do bad. And the words weave through the weed wine to produce the magic. And it's there for all of us.
That's awesome. That's pretty heavy. That's good stuff, man. Ooh. It makes you think. I like these type of things. See, I like these type of conversations that kind of open the mind up and we kind of think through these type of things. I love it. So I guess what I'm interested in doing is walking through some of the characters that you've set up on the show. We have a virtual co-host here on the show. Her name is Mary Jane, and she helps us ask questions sometimes. So I know she wanted to ask you a question. So Mary Jane, go ahead. You've got Steve. Go ahead and ask him any question you want about his book.
Thanks, Phil. Hey, Steve. Great to have you here. Your book, Weed, Wine, and Magic, sounds fascinating. What inspired you to blend those three elements together? And what do you think is the most magical outcome from their combination?
It's a good question. The most magical outcome is when that light goes off in your head and in your heart, and you sense the magic of personal truth. When you read about all the issues that come to play in this particular novel, you'll recognize yourself in one or two or maybe more of the characters. I have strong characters. I have good people and bad people. I have vicious people and heartfelt, wonderful, loving people. They're all there. And you can see your strengths, you can see your weaknesses, and you can determine how you want to move to maybe make it better for yourself and for other people. So for me as the writer, I sense that magic of creation, but I'm also looking deeply into that cracked, dirty mirror to see what truth I can find and how I can be a better person, how I can help more people. I'm good backup. I've always been good backup. And this book is good backup. It's prophetic. It is fortune-telling like, if you will, because you never know what the future holds, but you know there's something you can do to prepare for the best and the worst. And that, too, is part of the magic. The weed is self-explanatory.
Right.
The wine, self-explanatory. The weed wine is magic.
The magic. That's the magic. And really the magic is the journey that it sets you off on. I mean, it's not a moment in time type of thing. It's a journey.
Never stops.
And like you mentioned, those cracks in the mirror. Those cracks in the mirror also help you see where the good and bad lie. So I think you need to understand the bad so you can put the good in perspective. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
Steve, would it be appropriate for us to ask you to give us, like, maybe a few of the characters and give us a little bit about each one of those? Because I think it would be interesting. And then at the end of this, we're going to tell people how to get to get a book of their own so they can read this. But maybe like a summary. I don't think we want to give it all away, but maybe just a little summary, like you were kind of on your way to do before we went to commercial.
And Steve, if I can say for a minute, I'm going to read the book to Phil. 'Cause Phil can't read. I'm gonna read it to him so we all can enjoy it.
Stupid. I think it's a good idea. If you go outside when the moon is visible, and you look into the moon and you feel the lunar bright rays of the moon, you'll feel one of the main characters in my book. Ixchel is the Maya moon goddess. The Maya civilization in Mexico, as big as the Aztecs and the Incas elsewhere, the Mayas were wonderful, resourceful, powerful people. And Ixchel, the moon goddess, was the Maya moon goddess. She plays a central role in the book, as does an island off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, off the coast of Cancun, Isla Mujeres, island of women.
A great place.
Of women. And the women who came to Isla Mujeres worshipped Ixchel, the moon goddess. So she plays a very influential role. A young woman in the book who is searching to find herself, not knowing her true roots, not knowing her real background. Her name is Ixchel. She plays a central role in the book. Jesus Zarate is a character in some ways I modeled after myself. So as a renegade outlaw newspaper columnist, Jesus Malverde plays a big role in this novel in trying to find himself and dig deep into his goodness as opposed to his violent nature and his recklessness that he displayed many times in his past. His mother, Zeta, plays a major role in the book. The Mexican culture, very powerful in this book. If you look behind me, you'll see La Santa Muerte holding the scythe, and she's standing beside Jesus Malverde, who is the Mexican Robin Hood, the outlaw bandito that the cops will tell you is the saint of the narco traffickers, the cartel in Sinaloa and Culiacan. But the people know that Jesus Malverde is a saint of the poor, is a saint of the people. He gives the power and the hope to people who are hopeless, who lack power. And all these forces come together in Weed, Wine, Magic on the central coast of California, where we lived for about 5 years, where I wrote newspaper columns. I was asked to come out there to a rotten little newspaper to help make it good. And I went out like Zorro to spread truth and light on the frontier. But when they sold it to the Children of the Corn, a corporation in Iowa, they fired me. So that was okay. I just took those hits, and my wife and I, who was a wonderful college professor out there, we came back east. She's now taking the spiritual strength she learned from the Mexican community. She's applying it to working with immigration. I'm applying it to start trouble wherever I can start it for a good cause, because we know people need people to help them, and we will help them, as will Weed, Wine, Magic.
Man, that's intense.
Bud, wait. One last guy, Bud. Bud is the son of a cigarette company executive, and Bud loves to get high. He calls himself Bud after Bud, okay?
I like that.
Bud winds up driving the Doobie Mobile. You know what, like that Wiener Mobile is?
Yeah.
Well, Bud got one, but it's in the shape of a joint, okay? So Bud drives the Doobie Mobile around, and then Bud gets hooked up with the commune, and they start making the Weed, Wine, Magic. And so Bud is a big, big player in this story because he's got all the money he needs. Another character or characters, animals. I have coyotes that are four-legged animals under attack. People hate coyotes, and they shouldn't. I got great white sharks. I got whales. I got all kinds of wondrous animal power in this book as well. They're all characters. They all interact. As I've learned as a street Zen Buddhist, everything is connected and nothing is permanent. So let's make the best of what we got while we got it.
My man. And let me ask you a question, Steve.
My man.
When your book, Weed, Wine, Magic, makes it to the big silver screen, can I play the character of Bud?
I think that you'd be one of the best Buds. I think that would work out okay. Yeah, you can drive the Doobie Mobile. Yeah, you can drive the Doobie Mobile.
That's all I want to do.
So let me ask you this. Is Bud just a stoner, or does he have some sort of big tobacco interest in terms of...
You got to read the book.
His father was a multimillionaire tobacco devil, okay? But his dad wanted to hook young people to his cigarettes, and he wanted to mix it with weed. It gets complicated. But his dad was an evil, evil, dirty man. And what happens is his past comes to haunt him, the old man. But Bud gets all the money he needs, and so what happens is they realize, the old man and the sand dudes realizes, we can't sell this weed wine, so we're going to give it away. We're going to give it away like Johnny Appleseed or Johnny Reefer Seed. They're going to give away
Reefer Seed.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, did you meet? I met Johnny Appleseed at the
at the event. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to have. He's got some stories. I got to have him on.
I got the sense when he rolled up, and his wife, I got the sense that he's a trip, that he's got some background, but
Yes.
I never really knew. I don't know what his background is.
Well, wait a minute. We're
You-
gonna get to the bottom of it.
You said when my man rolled up.
Oh, he literally rolled up, didn't he?
Well, he uses a wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting
It's
guy.
a scooter. It's not a wheelchair. It's a scooter.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But there is so much in this book that you can see in a troubled world. We live in a really nasty society now. A lot
Hell
of people
yeah,
hate
we
each
do.
other. A lot of people want to hurt each other. The world is crazy. So we got to get it right.
Amen.
And cannabis can take us there. Everybody chill out, fall back, put a cloud up. You know what I'm saying? Just chill.
Put a cloud up.
See,
Wow.
I'm contemplating, now that I'm back in Pennsylvania where it's illegal, I'm contemplating in these states like New Jersey, like New York, and when we go to California. I got a bottle of weed wine waiting for me for our trip to California in September. So I'm a newbie in many ways. I'm contemplating taking that step back into some low-level edibles to check it out, to see what it does. Because the last time we got high, Stephanie and I together, when we first met, we smoked dope for like a month straight. She kept an eye in the wok, okay? Like the cops wouldn't look in the wok. You know, like Chinese,
You got some stir-fried weed up in the motherfucker. That's some new shit.
So we... FBI, open up! No, don't get too much work. So,
Hey, Steve, man.
I don't know, man.
When you ready to smoke some weed, man, please do it
I don't
with us
smoke
first.
it. No, I don't smoke it. I would only do edibles. Or, see, I don't smoke because I got off the cigarettes.
What about
But
dabs? Do dabs fall in
I
that?
don't know anything about that stuff. You guys got to tell me because I don't know. It
All
would
right.
be low level. Because
Well-
when I came off of it, you'd get paranoid, you'd get anxious. You know, I'd be so stoned. I'd be listening to records and thinking to myself, listen to me, records. I'd be listening to records and thinking, I've never heard that guitar riff before. But
Yeah.
I don't want to get wrecked. I want to see what it's all about now.
Well, I'll tell you what. You're invited. We have a dab station here. You're invited to come. We will take you on a very carefully curated journey.
Yes.
Right?
Curated.
Curated.
You'll be in good hands.
You'll be in good hands. We're not that far away, Steve. We're not that far away. So
holistic.
So listen, I will say this: if you write a book and you get up on a show and you talk about it with such vividness and intent like Steve did, then I think what you've done is you've stimulated people to want to read this book.
Yes.
And that's the purpose. That's what we wanted to do. We want to introduce Steve, but we wanted to introduce some of his work. And Steve, where can people buy Weed Wine Magic?
People can come to my website, theoutlawcorbett.com. They can also buy all my novels wherever books are sold. They can go online to any of the outlets, whether it be Barnes & Noble or what have you. My 3 novels are available. And, of course, the 4th one, which will be the reissue of Patty's Day in Trumptown this July, they can buy that too. So my website is a good place to check out some of my other writing, theoutlawcorbett.com. And I put short stories up, I do poems, I write news columns, and I want people to recognize that cannabis is a big part of world culture, and cannabis has been demonized for too long by politicians and corporate hacks, all the wrong people. So I want to raise awareness to people getting high on any number of substances, life itself, but cannabis might very well be a good way for people to experience that
Amen.
altered state of
Amen.
consciousness.
You pretty much just read our mission statement.
Listen, God put this plant on the earth for a reason, and it's not a destructive reason. It's
natural.
It's here to help. It's not here to destroy anything. So, listen, I got to tell Steve, I got to say something here. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you taking the time to spend an hour with us talking about this book, and really us being able to get to know you better. I know this is just the first of many conversations that we're going to have, and I can't wait. I can't really wait for the next one. I'm excited about it.
And we got a new friend indeed.
We do have a friend indeed, and so anything that you need, if there's something we can do to help you out, we're more than willing to do it. We just want to tell you that we really appreciate you being on the show tonight and telling us about the book and about yourself. We appreciate that.
And one question, in lieu of like Phil, do you have a audio version of this? Phil can't read, and I'm sure a couple of people out there might struggle. But if you got to have an audio version,
No, we haven't done that yet. We haven't done that yet. But two things. I want to thank you both for your kindness and your courtesy and the hard work that you're doing, because you're bucking the system in many ways, because there are forces of evil out there that are trying to hurt people's reputations, to trying to portray people like you as if you're doing something subversive and wrong, when in effect you're moving forward, you're raising awareness to another level. So I want to thank you for not only having me, but for doing the hard work you do. Wow. And for people who want to see this interview, how can I post it on my Facebook page, on my website? How can people find this interview tonight?
Yeah, so right now we are broadcasting live on YouTube, the Late Night Green channel on YouTube. We are broadcasting on the Late Night Green channel on Rumble. And we are also on Cough Country TV on YouTube. So you'll be able to go to those three platforms. We'll get you a copy, Steve, to make sure that you've got the content to use as you wish. But anybody who's not watching tonight can go to that, to go to these platforms and see it. And then from this show, Steve, we'll also break down a lot of different clips. So, we know that people have a relatively short attention span, so their only exposure to this interview may be a 60-second clip. But that 60-second clip, I'm assuming, will be very good, because this interview was good, and it was packed with information that really, at the end of the day, makes me want to expand my mind. It makes me want to read the book.
He definitely took me to another place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how, that's how anybody who's following you can go back and watch this. This will get broken up in clips. I think you'll probably start seeing it on Saturday in our feeds. It'll go on Instagram and TikTok and all those other feeds. So, yeah, I mean, our goal is to get the word out. We really appreciate the kind words you gave us, that, there's things that go wrong all the time around here, and, those words are encouraging. And so, we have a very similar mission in terms of how we want to, open the minds of people who consume cannabis content in a way that's more to a mainstream fashion than it is to what we've known in the past as, stoner content. And so that's kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about all evening here. So,
and one other thing, we can't forget this. Big ups to your wife, was Stephanie.
Oh, she's so lovely. Thank you,
Big ups
Stephanie.
to her.
Yes.
We met her there.
Yep.
Lovely young lady, and an important part of your journey and what you do.
Yep.
We've been together 44 years. Without Dr. Bressler, I'd be living in a drainage ditch.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her. So, all right. So if you guys want to get this book, we want you to go to the Corbett, theoutlawcorbett.com. Did I get that right?
T-shirt, man. Look what the T-shirt.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he's looking good.
He's wearing the Cough Country.
Looking good,
yes,
baby.
Yes, sir.
My man, thank you for supporting us.
That's the fatty label one. That's fatty label.
Yeah, that's the nice one.
Yeah, we appreciate
the baseball version.
We appreciate the support, and we're going to tell everybody we know about this book. we want to see you do as best as you can. We thank you for coming on the show tonight. Hey, guys, there's no late night show, so this is it tonight. If you guys like this, please give us a like. This is how we can grow the channel. If you're not subscribed, give us a subscription, please. Don't make Todd beg for it. I can't read, and he doesn't like to beg, so give us a subscription. Tell a friend. We'll be back on Tuesday. We've got some interviews. We've got some people coming in next week, so it should be a good week of programming. Stay tuned for more. We got more coming, guys.
Keep doing the damn thing.
Steve, all right, thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Amen.
Peace. Peace and love.
Peace and love.